course you're bringing out that little thing again, that cursor.
I,
Hello, everyone.
look,
What? I see it. I
I'm
see
trying.
it.
I'm
I
trying.
know.
I'm trying here.
You're just harassing me with it at this point. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mayor's Desk, where you have us straight from our Tough Story Games answer your questions. Where it's pretty much just me hassling James Hutt here, our designer, of course, main brain behind Balancetown. And today we're going to be continuing where we left off last week. And start this off, I have to request one question at a time, because there is no way we can dedicate a whole episode to an entire list of questions. So be mindful, we only have an hour to do these a week. So limit your questions to one per. If we have multiple questions, we're only answering one from that and then moving on. It's just so everyone gets a chance. Okay? Want to make sure we had that covered right off the bat. Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds good to me.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, why don't we alternate between both chat sources for questions as well?
We have a third one this time because now on YouTube I actually reached out. Yeah. Oh, you're very wanted, sir. People want to know coolings of stuff and things.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I also this time around, for people who don't know, at the Monday every single week I put up a community post here on YouTube where you can put questions in as well. If I see you have bounced between areas, it's still the same rules. We answer one, so that way everyone gets a chance. We don't want to hog the space, let's put it that way. So be considerate of others. I have to say that, yes, as kind of the principle. But let's see here. We'll start this off quick because as me and James both here have, we only have an hour today. We're not doing a long one. We're doing an hour.
Yeah, let's get a good one though, and
yeah,
let's get going.
I'm gonna actually see what we. Close that window. Oh, sorry about the pings. We're actually gonna start off from the community posts, and so this is actually a good one here. This is from Alejandro over on. It's actually one of the first questions we have off the bat. And he actually says, this is a question that he feels is without a correct answer. Do you think that a campaign where there's a world-ending threat, aka atomic bombs, AI taking over, whatever, would it even be possible for players to save the world? Or thematically in Cyberpunk, you only save yourself? So they're asking subjectively. So we're talking going from street level to... What do you think on that? Warm-up.
I think that you can do the like this would have started a change. It depends on how realistic your world-ending threat is, right? It's an alien invasion. It's not a realistic world-ending threat. This is not a. But if you're keeping into Cyberpunk, there's a good amount of like, if this gets out, it will cause this terrible thing to repeat a couple of times, and by stopping it for yourself, you could stop it for the next community as well. And I think that's more how you stop a potentially world-ending threat. There's also the we're swearing. Are we swearing today?
We're not in the window yet. Yeah, there's like a 10-minute window to where we're safe, but we're not monetized anyway.
The world doesn't end very easily. There's also a more realistic. This doesn't make the world end. It just makes it get really, really bad. Even worse than it already is. And I think that's a more cyberpunk version of world-ending threat.
Because it's
anything. I think you can do it. I think you can play on the same tropes, and I think you can have the story you want to have in Cyberpunk.
Because it could literally be something that's like the butterfly effect that,
Yeah.
Hey, you stop a truck. Turns out that truck had a, toxic virus or something like that. Hey, look, you saved the world without even really putting that full in. It's like, it's difficult to do that in the scape of a major meta arc that could end everything. But then again, what is your definition of ending everything?
I mean, I agree with you. I think that you're far more likely to accidentally save the world in Cyberpunk, and you're far more likely to not get paid for it.
No massive reward or worldwide acclaim, and if
Yeah. There's no I mean, the Presidential Medal of Freedom does not come with a paycheck.
I would start talking Phantom Liberty spoilers, but let's face it, you're gonna have to be happy with just a hand. So we're gonna now bounce over to Discord channel, and like I said, I'm only getting one per person here because we have in the past week we've had novels wrote, and I love everyone being so excited, but I'm having to I can here. So we're gonna actually start with God, I'm happy I get to say this name out loud. Oh my God, LOL, what the fuck barbecue? I don't care if I swore. Screw it. This is a fun question too, James. Is there a guideline?
The window, man.
Is there a guideline? I don't care about the damn window. Fuck the window. Is there a guideline you would use to challenge your players? Basically, I'm asking about constructing counters. If they have a certain amount of IP or eddies versus how much IP or eddies you can challenges. Just a rough guideline. This is a wonderful open question. I'm happy with this.
The rough guideline is I want you to go to our website and I want you to download the free DLC series that all use the word hardened before the title. That series is about the answer to that question. Is there a hard and fast rule? No. That's why there's a series of DLCs about how to do that. As a rule, you should, if you want the rules on how to do that, you should really read the hardened series of free DLCs. The good news is they're written, and there you go. I got better than a little zinger for you. I got an actual document, so just go read that and enjoy it.
And yeah, we've done a lot to make sure people have at least, like, even if push comes to shove, a dossier. But yeah, the hardened series is your way to go to find.
Yes, and Danger Gal Dossier has stuff from the hardened series. They're compatible. Those are both compatible answers. Danger Gal Dossier was the first book, I believe, that brought hardened stuff out of the DLCs and into the full release stuff. This isn't to say that DLCs aren't full release stuff. That's one of the interesting differences about what we do. Is that it's all full release, maybe.
Let's see, a good one. Let's go down here. So this is from Daedrin. This is a mission kit question. So once again, we have to say before any mission kit question, remember everything in the Cyberpunk Edgerunners mission kit is to run the mission kit, and we still are not truly fully answering stuff around 2077 because of development. So okay, we'll go with this one. This one is much easier to answer. In addition, for the Neuroport Cyberdeck port, they're confused on how it works. So when it comes to how the Cyberdeck port and the Neuroport, how can we
do they mean so mechanically?
Mechanically, I assume. Connected, I believe.
I don't like this question. Let's go on to the next one.
Gotcha.
To understand how it works mechanically, read the entry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm going to be mean.
No, it's fine. I'm trying to get a way to clearly articulate questions. If going into a net architecture, we cannot preload programs, right? We kind of go into the lobby, and if it's there, oh well, and spend the net actions prepping. That's what they are asking.
You can't preload. You have to be jacked in order to do anything in a net architecture.
So it's not like hopping in and dropping into payload like I now. You have to prepare your stuff once you're in it. In that first floor, then you prepare your actual stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is the net running section. This is explained in the net running section.
So in that case, let's go over here to the YouTube. I'm now bouncing around between all three. We got the trifecta. First question of the day, what do we got? From William McGruther. What limits, if any, would you personally as a referee put on players buying things with their entertainment budget, their lifestyle?
Entertainment budget for lifestyle. So entertainment budget is exists as a example of the type of things you do with your lifestyle. It is not a hard and fast. There's a guy literally on the other side of my apartment window cleaning it at this moment.
Yeah,
little
you
weird.
told me about this.
Yeah.
You want to tell everybody what's going on outside?
They're cleaning the windows. I have the blinds drawn, but there's a shadowy figure.
Oh, we can hear him.
That's joined me.
We can hear him.
That's.
Yeah, last episode I was watching for a spider. This episode you're looking for a person.
Yeah. So anyway, where were we?
Okay. I was already looking at the next. Don't worry, we'll just move on. Let's get this a little bit more straightforward. This is from Deceiver. If we're on Discord. Do you have to have a cyber arm surgically installed to utilize a cyber deck integrated into it? Or can I just jack into it with an interface plug?
Yes, but you could probably, if you really needed to do it, but that's additional checks and you're trying to do a special thing, so then that's a talk to your GM.
And I'm seeing folks asking about audio checks. Is he still getting cut off now? I just upped his gain on my side, so he should be a bit more smoother. Let me know if it still persists.
All right, I've upped my gain on my side as well.
No, you're hitting the limiter. You're good. You're good. I have audio control on this side.
Okay, it's going down.
Yeah, I'm seeing your audio.
The limiter is there for a reason.
Yeah, I'm seeing your audio come in fine, so that is up. Good now. Thought I had fixed that.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's me. Oh, it's me. 1 second. In that case, I know what that is. Shoot. 1 second. Done. Fixed. All right, there we go. That should be smoother from here on out.
Excellent.
All right. So that's one from Deceiver done. I'm going to bounce all over. A lot of these questions are pretty easily answered. Straightforward. Wow, earthquake. I saw that.
I kicked my table accidentally.
Oh, you're fine. You're
Sorry.
fine. All right. Okay, here's something fun. It's from Singularity. Is there a more specific range table, so to speak, for a Netrunner's scanner ability? So they're curious about the range you can go with scanner.
No.
So it's just straightforward. It's just what would you say is a guideline for it then? Or will we have one?
Scanner?
Yeah, for scanner.
It depends. So let me explain it this way. Sometimes you're in places with great reception. And sometimes you're in places with bad cell phone reception. That's why there's no hard and fast what a scanner is. Additionally, there are just too many different types of environments that have tech in them for that to be a good game mechanic. Typically, if you're a GM, you should always be allowing your Netrunner to be cool. You should be trying to help them have a cool game experience together with the rest of the people. So saying yes is a great improv, just improv 101. I would say yes more than I say no in that case.
All right. And for the record, I just did some tweakage. Let me know if I'm still getting cut off, y'all. I had to do some changes there in the noise gate. All right, so we're going to now bounce back over to YouTube. I cannot pronounce that name. Epicurean Captain. It's the second question we have up there. This actually has to go about DLC, and it's actually one of our favorites. When using the No Place Like Home DLC, how would you rule the Edgerunners having multiple headquarters, especially in regards to upgrades like morale boost levels 3 and 7?
Yeah, I wouldn't have them stack. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, because that starts a basic domino effect when you just have 50 different headquarters and multiple 1-1-1
stacking stuff, and you get it, and then you don't want to. There's a reason they upgrade, and they upgrade because it's incentivizing you to have one headquarters and care about that space, so that if it's infiltrated or something or invaded, there's a reason to care about it.
May I offer a solution?
Please go ahead.
we do it the same way we do SP whenever people are stacking armor. The highest number is the actual bonus you get.
Yeah, and of course that.
Yeah. So if you have multiple headquarters, it's the highest option you have. You don't get additive. It is whatever the highest is.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it should go. There's the benefit to having multiple headquarters, I guess, is that if one gets knocked over, you have a backup.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's good to have a backup. Always good to have a backup.
It's good to have a backup.
Yeah. All right, so we're now heading back over to Discord, and this one comes from D. And another interesting open question. Have you guys ever considered an alternative, faster version of the IP system for shorter campaigns? Where instead of paying the whole price for the next level, you pay the difference between your current level and the next?
Sure, we've considered different levels of IP gain. The reason we have the one in the book is that it's designed for longer term campaigns. If you want faster IP gain, it's pretty easy to figure out how to do that. I think we probably should have included here's a fast rate. And to be honest, the rate is pretty slow in core. And we think it might be a little too slow.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get a book ready here. So we have a question about a specific weapon from Street Stories, a certain weapon from Drummer and the Whale. Remember it?
Okay.
Yeah. This is from Rat Boy Lover. He'd like to know what ammunition it uses and if it can be a handheld and used outside of the specific Drummer and the Whale story.
No, that particular weapon, I'm guessing, is on a submarine.
It is.
It takes up most of the front of the submarine.
It's
that is not handheld.
It is gigantic.
It's a sonic weapon, and I think something about it makes it underwater weapon as well. Like the waves are meant to go through the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that is in and of itself, it's a super weapon, and it's a prototype even.
Yeah.
I'm just right now digging it up. Where are you?
I just think that as a handheld weapon, it's cyberpunk, but it's not our cyberpunk. That type of thing is, there are cyberpunk settings that have that, and they're a little bit higher on the tech level than we want to be right now.
Yep. So the Militech Growler is what we're speaking about. It is underwater only, and it takes up almost the entire front of, the SS McDonaldson. It's giant. It's a big weapon.
Is it really McDonaldson?
I think it's a
McDonaldson.
McDonaldson.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's the SS McDonaldson.
Writing.
I'm making sure now. You got me paranoid.
Forget her name.
I'm looking right
Fantastic writing, as usual.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. It's huge, and it's underwater. It is not handheld. It's a big boy.
That's a great adventure, by the way. There's also a crab mech in it, and that's really cool too.
So
I love that adventure. That's
I've not gotten to
so
run
good.
it. I've not gotten to
Run it. Have fun.
We actually have a question straight from Ratboy Lover 69 again. Why did you give it a body requirement then? I think that's just to brace and lean. I don't know. It's big.
Body requirement?
Apparently, there's a body requirement in it.
Oh, it's to rip it off and for temporary use. It doesn't, for funsies. That would be why.
Just heard the
funsies.
window squeak.
Yeah, they're done with our window now.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. So that was there. That was there. Then let's bounce back to Discord. Okay, official KP. This is a pretty, general one, especially for newer faces. How does the Kariznikov and the Sindevistan work? Are they always on, only activated when needed? Is there anything someone can do without one? Is there anything someone without one can do to prevent being killed by someone with one before they can even react, i.e. Cyberware, to counter it? So, yeah, they're asking the difference between the Sandy and the Karen.
Okay, so the difference between the Sandy and the Kresnikov has always been that one is always active, but is always active at a lower level, and one is a burst, The Sandevistan is the burst one. The Kerenzikov is the always-on one, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Karen is always on. The Sandy is pop and a higher bonus.
Yeah. So both of those, they work that way because they're mechanically different. I believe there's some lore in 2020 books about that. There's this old thing called the Boost Master in Solo of Fortune 2 that also has some extra lore about it. But as to why they work that way, it's because that type of thing in your brain has a downside, and the two ways to do it is like lower the amount of it, or it's only going to be on for a little bit of time. When you ignore that and try to design something around but I don't really care particularly about the person this is installed into, and you start going in that direction, that's how you get 77 sandy stuff.
Yeah, because it's the way it was once described to me is, imagine having a Karen on, and then almost at all times the world just feels like it's moving a little bit too slow for you, and that's why it actually, if I remember right, the Karen has a higher humanity cost. I remember off the top of my head, and that's because you're literally
I believe that is
going quicker.
That is why the Kerenzikov has a higher cost.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
than the Sandevistan.
I have one to pick out of 8 questions here from Oak on Discord. Let's see. We answered that camo question. Okay, this is a fun one. It's their third question.
Sure.
There's DVs, I believe, to detect Mimic Kit, Light Armor Jack, and Black Chrome, an aspect I didn't realize until very recently. On the topic of concealability, how do you think about what weapons are allowed in green and yellow zones and the like? What do you think would get someone accosted or side-eyed? Basically, they're asking for guidance on adjudicating and creating consistency, or general advice for rewarding people with concealed weapons. So concealment in high security zones.
So concealment is yes and no. In Cyberpunk, right now. So it's if it's yes concealment, then you have an easy answer. You're talking about how can I carry long guns in high security zones. The trunk of a car is a really good example of how you can do that. You can get collapsible weapons. I believe there's some in Black Chrome, and it's concealed on your person is the why it's yes no and why it's stringent like that. Concealed within other objects, using creativity, that's not what that's covered under. I believe there's conceal reveal object that you can use on something that is not capable of concealment, because when we say capable of concealment, we mean in your pants, in a shirt.
I was going to say the briefcase. Like
how people concealed carry, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we mean by concealment for weaponry. To detect stuff like the mimic thing, that's a base level. That you can always try to make that better. Try to conceal that fact better. That part is a really interesting part for people to tech upgrade. Do I want a more concealable mimic kit? Well, that's a tech upgrade.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit that next answer. I'm heating up. All this right. Is good.
Well, here's the fun part. The next one's a tech question. Tech upgrade.
Great.
This is from Disardet46 on YouTube. Any James-approved tech invention to have auto shotguns using shells? You and I have talked about that.
Any tech upgrade approved by your GM is a James-approved tech upgrade. Just for the up top. And this is to let what use shells?
To have auto shotguns.
Auto shotguns are cool. Look at the brand new DLC we put out for April 1st. Those are not joke weapons, even though they're kind of funny.
Yeah, we're talking
I believe you'll find an auto shotgun. I believe you'll find an auto shotgun in there. That's a great basis.
Yep, it's the kitty gun.
Or how to make your own.
Well, they're all kitty guns. No, it's
Yeah,
my friend the
it's
Ocelot.
My
the
Friend
one
the
you actually have to
Ocelot.
pet. Yeah, that was
Yes.
a nasty gun.
Mhm.
Let's actually continue on. Another one from the YouTube community post here, because it's another about tech upgrades. This is from Bush Warrior. Is the
Mhm.
tech upgrade to make standard quality weapons excellent quality intended to work with cyber weapons such as Wolvers?
Yes.
Yeah. Straightforward.
You
Yep.
can tech upgrade anything. It says it can't be, unless it says this cannot be upgraded by a tech, which is extremely rare. And we only use that to like preserve the very key pillars when we do.
So let's I now have another good one. We're right now getting that point where I'm getting a lot of narrative questions answered, and then we're going to get into the heavy mechanic ones. I'm finding some good
I
ones.
like narrative questions too. Both those types of questions have total merit.
Well, this is a fun one. This is from Diana Sario, very very active member in our Discord, and they're asking, what's the dress code for different zones? I may be able to help answer this one. Like obviously wearing medium armor jack in the executive zone will get you looks, but how weird is it to see someone in fashionable light armor jack enter a bar in an overpopulated suburb? Do we want to say something about something coming up or no?
That would be depends on the bar. Depends on the bar. You should be able to quickly tell kind of how you're supposed to be dressed in an area with streetwise checks or appearance, or you know, I think streetwise is a pretty good way to figure that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you roll a check. The GM says, "Oh, this is how it goes." Streetwise is a great way to get info from your game master, and that info from your game master is. Here's the reason why it's actually good, mechanically. The info from your game master is relevant directly to their game world, your shared game world. So it's much more relevant than something we can tell you. I would say, obvious stuff like heavy body armor in corporate zones is probably not going to fly. And I don't know, just for the occasion.
Do you think
That's about
Jay?
it.
Do you think Jay will throw something at me if I, for once, leak something?
Depends on what you're leaking.
Oh, I'm just gonna tell them to look forward to the Edgerunners Guide to Night City.
Yeah.
That's all
Yes,
I'm gonna
and
say. Yeah.
looking forward to that will be a good way to do that. But I'm pretty sure someone so active in our Discord knows already that book is coming out.
Yeah, they already know. I'm just saying, like, for that specific question.
They're trying to get early stuff from that book.
Yeah.
I think maybe with that question.
Sneaky. Let's see here. Going back into the YouTube chat now. What do we have a good one? My mic is hopefully no longer being filtered wrong. I'm thanking y'all for actually pointing it out. I thought y'all were talking about James's the whole time, so I was working on his.
Oh yeah.
Oops. Well, that's
Okay.
another.
They're
oops
worried
right
about
there.
your shelf.
Oh no, what they're worried about now
Too.
is this. I forgot to change the overlay here, which I can fix while you're answering the next question. I had all of 5 minutes today, by the way, to prepare. We had a very sequence of meetings. There was a sequence of meetings. Yes, just a sequence.
Fantastic sequence of meetings.
Good stuff. Oh,
Good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff, guys.
from Velada
Gals.
DFZ. Old Guns Never Die doesn't offer a way to port laser weapons, but my players found out they exist in the 2020 sourcebook. In the spirit of saying yes, how would you handle bringing that into the red? I like that. I like how they said, how could I do it, instead of give us an absolute. I like the way they worded that. Good on you.
I can tell from the way you worded that question that you have experience homebrewing. So, what are laser weapons, right? Laser weapons are pinpoint accurate. Laser weapons have an interesting battery power sub effect in 2020 that I do not know if is fun or interesting under the current rule set. That's why they're not there. I don't know. I might have. There are weapons with battery charges that use energy from a battery pack. So I would say you start your homebrew by figuring out the classification you want the weapon to be, then looking at a battery pack item and finding one that has an interesting amount of uses, And then maybe say, ooh, it's this, but if you use 2 charges instead of 1, you can shoot it at a 5d6, and I would make it 2-handed. If you're doing a one-handed one, I would have it go from 3 to 4. And if you want to make it 5 grand and over, you can keep it at 2 ROF when you do that.
Yeah, because it's.
I would also make it probably excellent quality, unless it's like out of repair anytime or something. I don't know. Never mind that last part. I don't like that level of detail. But I might not have it ablade armor. I don't know. A laser just doesn't seem like it would ablade armor to me.
Because it's a directed energy weapon. You're basically
I would also maybe do no crits on it, and then maybe you can lower, that even though you're letting them in the 5K version, even though you're letting them get that 46 to ROF, if they're using 2 shots of double energy, maybe I would lower it to maybe 3-4 grand. Be nice to them, just because it's no crits and it's let's see, it's no crits.
It makes a lot of sense for the no crits, obviously, because you can't have some crits for an object, because it's not actually a bullet hitting you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the general places I would go with that homebrew. I think yours is going to be a lot cooler, and I think it rock on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good time. And hopefully, from me having to say all that, you can understand why they're not in 45.
They're
that's a whole bunch of hullabaloo for not very fun or good.
Yeah, even watering it down, just going it through my head, it's still an overly complex weapon, and the point of Red is to streamline it, not to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, streamline it, keep the soul. Mm-hmm. Focus our time on the gritty stuff that we want to be focusing on. Right. I like to think of it as the impact of your bullets.
We already only have 20 minutes left.
Let's keep going.
All right, so this is from
roll.
Corgopolis. This is actually an interesting one here that is going to have an open answer for you. How should a GM/player come to setting up DVs and time required for different virus effects? Essentially, are they any better guidelines on how to establish DVs for different virus effects, not easily covered by the ones in the core rulebook's provided examples? Subset, can a previously used virus effect be easier or /faster to use again, whether in the same or a different net architecture, or would that only be possible by the effects of another virus planted earlier? So yeah, we got some Netrunner questions. That's a complex question.
All right. Netrunner answer. You want to be consistent in your rulings. You want to strive for, last week you said it was this? What? But this week you're saying that? You don't want to do that. But at the same time, you don't want to prime your players for wanting to say that sentence. Don't give them the opportunity. Just try to be fair from the jump. If you make a mistake, say, sorry about that. Let's just do it this way and let's keep playing, guys. I'm having a great time. Typically, that works for me. If I make flub, I like for viruses not easily covered by that. You can look at the modifiers for inspiration as to how hard the virus can be. The modifiers have stuff like, I've never done this before, and that can be good for your I want to write this type of virus, but in this campaign I have never written this type of virus. They're kind of coming up with it at that point, or they're adding it to their toolkit of stuff they like to do. I would probably have it take longer for that first time, and then go, well, you did this last week. This is the same virus you put last week. You can do this faster, but it's in no world is it I hit a button, it's a virus.
Good answer. At any time viruses come up, for me, I keep them very narrative focused, but I always keep the specific DVs we have in mind for just straight examples. Because I'm so worried if I break away from them, it's just going to make things get worse later on. So to keep it clean, I just keep to the DV table.
Keep the DV table. If you want to, and when you're not keeping the DV table, try to be fair in your rulings. And over time, your players will give you the slack needed to screw up once or twice.
And I'm right now filtering through some of the questions. We're not answering questions on future products. We're not answering questions on release dates, and we are not answering questions on what may be in future products at all. Remember that, folks. This is mechanic questions and more questions only. Okay.
Yes. Also, feel free to ask questions about games other than Cyberpunk.
Oh, I've been pitching this as
I can do that.
Cyberpunk. Would you like me to do Witcher and stuff like that? Are you sure you want that?
Not Witcher right now.
That's what's going to be asked other than this. Are you sure?
They can ask fossilized violence questions.
It's not released yet. It's about released games.
Well, there will be dinosaurs in it.
Of course there'll be dinosaurs in it.
Oh!
And we've actually had people ask if we can get dinosaurs in Cyberpunk Red. Actually, yes, that's a genuine question coming up.
Speaking of which, now that we're at the midpoint, I have a newsletter, jameshuttgames.com. That's how you can put your email in for it. For my own personal games that I make at James Hutt Games.
Mm-hmm. And of course, if
gotta remember to pimp that thing out. I'm a terrible businessman.
And any questions we also don't answer here, remember, we have multiple resources, but the main one where the most conversation's happening is in our official Discord server, which is just discord.gg/RTLStoryandGames. Anyone can get to it. There is thousands of people in there answering questions at all times. So even though we may not answer it here, you get that cursor out of here. I see it. Don't you do this to me again.
I'm looking at stuff.
Okay. Well, it's this one actually is coming up from Null. I'm going to do a question again from Discord. This is one of our admin, and it's a good question, too. If you are currently grappling someone and you successfully evade a grenade, does the person you are grappling also not get affected by the blast? So do you drag them with you when you jump out of the blast range of a grenade? Or do you let them go and throw them?
If you choose to. Your choice. Good answer.
Good, great answer. Perfect answer on that one.
You always want to do the player's choice if you can, because players like making choices. Players like having decisions. They like that. That's gameplay.
I just was checking the community posts again, and the remaining questions on the community post are all answered in the core rulebook itself. Like, for example, jumping from 5 to 10 in ranks. No, you have to go one at a time. Stuff like that. All right, so let's take a look here then in our...
I mean, that tells me we've got a lot of new people coming in from the Jumpstart stuff, which is great.
Core rulebook will be...
We are happy to have you. We are happy to have you new people. Thank you for being here. We hope you stay.
Oh, this is a complex little question. Do you want a fun one from the chat?
Yes. I love complex questions.
This is going to be funky. So this is from Dagnir, and honestly, I would love to watch this fight happen. If two CEMK netrunners encounter each other in a net architecture, can they attempt hacking each other's neuroports and then loading quick hacks as if they have a direct line of sight? This is a GM question, but how would we do this?
No, it's not a GM question. It's covered by the rules. It's also very fun. They're in both of each other's brains at the same time, because you're always in your own brain. So you get to... That can have some effects with programs, but considering that's not a fully meshed system right now, we can't go further than that. It certainly would be a lot of fun, and it's completely playable, importantly.
The question is, though, they don't have direct line of sight as they're connected to each other. I believe that you have to have direct line of sight when it comes to quick hacks. So they're asking if they're like... This is an interesting thing. I think they're trying to sneak us a deep dive question here.
No. I think you have to have line of sight when you connect. You don't have to maintain line of sight. You have to maintain range. So they're fine, just as long as they had line of sight when they connected.
Are we sure about that? I thought breaking line of sight
I'm
breaks quick hacking.
pretty sure about that. We'll that. Breaking line of sight does not break quick hacking. Breaking distance breaks quick hacking.
At one
to
point
establish a quick hack, you need line of sight.
We had it not break. I don't know what we ended up printing, though. I'm now confused myself. I know in the playtest it was one,
I
and
know.
the print was the other.
I'm pretty sure I know what we printed.
I'll go with you on this one.
You got to get out of their range. You don't have to get out of their sight, because then otherwise you have people net running with a sheet over their head and doing this. Right. I broke their line of sight. I put a bag on my head. I don't want to give paper bad guy that power.
The fool is now immune to quick hacking because of bag on
Yes,
head.
yes. I can't see him because he's wearing a sheet.
I love it. All right, so this one here is from Raven Gaming. Hello, Ak, how you been? On page 145 of the core book, luck is allowed to be used with charismatic impact, but not allowed for roles like media. Luck is allowed for most role abilities, but not media. Can you give better insight as to why, beyond the fact of rolling under the skill like death saves?
Yeah, so it's because it's set up to roll under the skill. And then narratively, luck is supposed to extend to like your connection to one direct action. And that would extend luck to like your luck is powering the entire connection of everyone reading your story. Everyone's going to have a different take when they read something you've written. And luck can't really be a part of that. And frankly, there's a luck element in if they believe it or not, even if, because if it's true, they still may not believe it. And that's sort of why that's a bespoke system and not a system that you can use the luck on.
That's a good point. I dig it. I can see anytime there's a, like, it's the same
Rather
with death saves, right?
I'd rather incentivize the reporter getting more evidence to get a higher chance than I would a luckier reporter. Because the reporter can be lucky a lot before just the publishing part. I would rather the publishing part be just naked in there.
All right, so I got one from the one Cruntley in Going Metal. FPC question. We love FPC questions.
It's complex. It makes sense.
This is not that complex. I actually know the answer to this one, but I'll let you. It's mentioned that methods of healing that work on organics, such as speed heal, don't work on NPCs. Does this apply to first aid or the medbay upgrade from the headquarters rules?
Pretty sure, yeah. Medbay upgrade is for cryo, right?
Let me find out. I'll pop open this because
If the medbay upgrade is for cryo, then
because a lot of folks should remember the DLC we released for No Place Like Home was when we were releasing rules from this book. You know, tongue tied. Yeah. Hope we're born. Where are we? So workshop, studio, server room, morale boost, medbay. All right. When a medbay is upgraded, a medtech crew can use science to upgrade, fabricate, or invent street drugs. It does not say. It's just with access to a medbay, members of the crew naturally heals if their body was 2 points higher. Medtech crew members using a medbay gain a +2 bonus to first aid, paramedic, and surgery skill checks. So we haven't defined it.
So that's natural healing. Natural healing is available to if natural healing is available to. That is how they heal.
Yeah, I'm about 90% sure. Once I'm just the library man today. Where is
Why don't you hop max metal real quick?
Oh yeah, I'm finding it. It's up here in the library that I'm still afraid
going
it's gonna
metal.
fall on me.
Going metal. I don't remember if it was going metal or becoming metal.
Don't say maximum metal, or people are gonna wonder why I have this thing tucked behind me. Let's see here. While I'm looking this up, I'll let us roll into another question and we'll come back to it.
All right.
Ooh. Okay. This is from Mini BM1. It's about the ETAC Rapid Responder from Redness. If they load the gun with rubber bullets when fired in 3-round burst, does it still ablate armor by 2? While you're answering that, I'll look this up.
If the I don't believe rubber bullets can ablate armor, and it says rubber bullets do not ablate armor. If you do something 3 times that says it doesn't do something, it still doesn't get done. I think it's still rubber. By the way, rubber bullets really, really suck. Getting hit with a rubber bullet sucks pretty badly.
Yeah, I have been hit with a non-lethal round once. It is not fun. It is not fun. It leaves the worst kind of bruise that hurts for... Okay. So
I dodged.
I didn't. I wasn't aware it was aimed at me, okay?
You can't dodge something you're not aware of. That's a problem.
I have suffered the pain of pepper spray, being tased, being hit with non-lethal rounds. I will not say why. Let's just say working in nightclubs is fun.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Nickel beer nights. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say more.
Nickel
All right,
beer.
so
What, they still do nickel? Is that even a thing?
this was back in like 2010, 2012.
How was that even a thing then?
Because it was the party rock era. I'm going to show my age again. Don't you dare me.
You're gonna make... I won't make you apologize for it. I won't make you apologize for it.
No, I'm not going to have to apologize for it. Back then, that was
That's right. You're not supposed to be sorry for party rocking.
Yeah, exactly. That was before Plur was even a thing, okay? Or at least became a fad.
No.
It was before Plur became a fad.
That does not predate.
It was before it became a fad. There was a period after party rock era that Plur became a fad, and everyone was going crazy. Then they, stopped because it slipped out of being fad. And then everybody got into
earlier
dubstep.
than that.
All right, so some clarification on the healing for FBCs. Damage is done to the FBC body, not the user, thanks to nanomachines. So long as the user maintains their lifestyle, whenever they complete a day of natural healing, it regains the number of hit points. Now,
I got good news for you, FBC friend. You still get it.
Yeah. Well, here's the fun part. Healing aids designed for fully biological systems, such as cryobags, cryotanks, and speed heal, do not work on the users. This says naturally healing. So, medbay,
natural healing, same thing.
Get it. All right.
You get it.
I still want to look up that ruling on quick hacking, by the way. It's nagging the daylights out of me.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you hate me? All right, so that
7 more minutes.
Yeah, 7 more minutes.
Let's get another one in.
All right. Ooh, all right. This is a simple one, but a good little mechanics one from J Jonah J-Lo. Hello again. Fun answer from last episode. Come to this one. Does making a running jump in combat time require you to use the run action on your turn?
No. Because your run action and somebody else's move action can be the same amount of distance. Distance covered per time is what we care about, not whether or not you use the action named run.
It's
if that makes sense. Somebody with a move of 3 when they run goes 6, but somebody with a move of 6, if they're not using the run action, still goes 6. So who's to say that they're not moving at the same speed? Because they certainly are moving at the same speed. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. It's pretty straightforward with it. Plus, that's just a waste of an action, and usually action economies.
We don't want to.
Yeah.
We do not want to tax people's actions like that.
Yeah, that would just slow down combat, and that's gonna be a long run. I mean, like if you're trying to like really get to a point and jump, yeah, if it would make sense for the run jump to happen, but
yeah, if it's far enough away, you are gonna have to run. Yeah, but
it's only if you would already use that action. So here's a fun one from Gerolf. I'm mispronouncing your name one way or another, so make sure I know later. Put it in the comments in this video for me.
Engagement farming.
Oh, heck yeah. All the engagement farming. Put all the comments and make it just seem like we're giving the worst answer. Actually, don't do that. People will believe you. Don't do that, please.
Let me with the question.
Yeah. If someone fails to save against suppressive fire and makes it to cover, are they able to move out of cover that same turn, or they have to remain in cover? Basically, they fail. They must run to the nearest cover. If they reach it, I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense for them to go, okay, tag base, step back out, do what I want to. I think they'd be stuck there.
I mean, but the rules don't say that.
That's right. That's fair.
This is there are weak points in any system. The rules don't say that. Yeah. I mean, they made it to cover within their first movement. That means they still have an action. They should probably do it. Typically, this does not change what they want to do unless they're a melee fighter.
That's actually a fair point. Because
by the way,
the only time really
it's an edge case. It keeps getting brought up. I just want to put it to bed. Give me a good one to finish off on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's really get in this. Oh, all right. Here we go. And this is a wonderful Toggles Temple question. with the introduction of Toggle's Temple, we are starting to see more and more items that are outside of the default price ranges. Which, by the way, because of that is because we're adding in the prices of the modifications to it. You know, if you have a scope added in, it's just added in. Taking the Militech Sheriff, a 200 ebb premium gun from Toggle's Temple page 4, as an example, when it comes to tech upgrades, does this item follow the rule of a premium item, being only 1 day of work needed on it? Will upgrading it cost 100 eds or 200 eds? As in, which is more important, the price category of the item or the price of the item?
Right. So this is a fun design space we're playing in right now. I believe this is answered in their FAQ. If it isn't, there are two ways you can do it. The first way is the accessibility category is what matters. Or making the stuff and repairing the stuff and whatnot. The second way is half the cash is what matters. I like, for a fast on-table answer, is the accessibility category.
Yeah, and
there will be a better answer to this in the future.
Yeah, because we're playing around with this right now. A lot of it is like the categories are meant for flexibility. You're meant to be flexible with them. And like even right here, they have a follow-up small question to that, which is, should a techie want to craft one, would that be 1 day and 50 eds worth of map? So yeah.
Half cash. That's
half cash.
Typically what goes, I believe. Let's think we can do another one. No, we got 2 minutes left.
You have 2 minutes left. All right, so we're gonna unfortunately have to wrap it up. We only have an hour for these, so as you'll see, we answer what we can. So keep it to 1 questions per, because I have to bounce around. I'm debating purging the Mayor's Desk questions for next week, so you will all have a chance to ask questions specifically.
That's good. Let's do that.
Yeah, because this is a challenge to go through it right now. It's novels. We're so happy y'all are so excited to get questions answered, but we are...
Save them off to the side, but purge the channel.
Yeah, I can archive it. We'll make a new channel.
I appreciate that.
So get your new questions in there, or put them in the community post when I put it up on Monday. But other than that, James, anything you want to say before we start wrapping this up?
Yeah, I better print my newsletter again. That's jameshuttgames.com. jameshuttgames.com. That's how you get onto my newsletter. I give away free games. You get to be part of my playtest community, doing my cool stuff there. You'll hear more about it in the future, and would love to have you there. Anyway, and as always, the Mayor of Balancetown. Have a great weekend.
And to say real quick, of course, you can find any answer you want from us on our Discord at discord.gg/art.historiangames. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and now we are offering Mayor's Desk as a podcast. So every single episode gets converted into a podcast, so you can just straight listen to it on the fly. It's going to be a straightforward playlist. Of course, through the weekend, I'll be making sure there's timestamps for each question in these streams. But other than that, if you don't have your question answered here, come over to our Discord and keep up to date at arthistoriangames.com and, of course, here on YouTube. So we will see you all next Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
All right. And
assuming it's not a federal holiday.
Yeah, and eventually, once we start getting a little bit more of the stuff answered and slowed out, this will switch to bi-weekly, so y'all know. Anyway, you all have yourselves a good day. We are going to go and wrap this up. Enjoy your Easter, and take care, everyone. Simple as
Have a good one.
Have a good one. I need to make sure I do this outro right. So 3, 2, 1, and...